So hello everyone. Are you guys planning to start in the field of data science? So myself Lakshya Deva and I am working in the field since like last 3 years, and I have taught more than 2 to 3,000 of students for the same, and I have conducted more than 50 boot camps and workshops in the same field. So today I am going to tell you how can you start with the data science field, and I am going to give you a roadmap of how to become zero to hero in the same. Okay, and for real guys, you can become the zero to hero in just 5 to 6 months. It's not a big deal. So the very first step is to start with Python. You can start with Python basics and learn different types of data structures and the OOPS concepts and many more, like how the functions work, what are the classes, and different things. Okay, how the loops work. So these are the basics of Python that you must cover if you want to start with the data science field. The second step is covering the basic libraries like NumPy. These are the prerequisite libraries. Okay, so these are very important in the same field, like the NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. So these libraries are much more important than you think, because these are the basics for data science. Then the third step you can go ahead is learning what actually data science is in a theoretical way. By learning what actually data science is in a theoretical way, like what is supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning, what is reinforcement learning. So basically supervised means when you are going to predict some value. Okay, so it can be classification or regression. Then unsupervised over here means that when you are going to categorize some value, and reinforcement when you are going to train a model to get the maximum profit. Okay, so the fourth step is go and learn about the maths, the basic maths for data science that is required is this maths of vectors, or we can say linear algebra. The second thing is what we require is statistics. The third we require is probability, and the fourth we require is the calculus. A basic understanding of calculus is very important as it is required in the reinforcement learning part. Then you can go ahead with learning machine learning models, like there is logistic regression, there is linear regression, and there are many more models like SVM, support vector machines, that is, we have decision trees, we have gradient trees, and many more models. So you can go ahead by learning all of these models and the maths behind all of these models and how to practically implement them. Okay, so the basic thing that you have to cover in step 5 is cover the theory and the maths behind them plus the practical portion. So these things are very important to understand all of these models. These models can be of either supervised or unsupervised. Then the fourth step is you can start with the deep learning concepts. In deep learning, like in machine learning, you use pre-made models. But in the deep learning part, in the deep learning, we are going to train our own models with the help of neurons. So there are many neuron layers in which the training occurs, and we can train our own models with the help of these neurons. Like there are concepts like forward propagation, the concepts like backward propagation, there are concepts like learning rate, and many more different things that varies in the deep learning part. So I would highly suggest go ahead with deep learning in the step 6, sorry, over here step 6. So under deep learning, there are three categories. The first one is ANN, the second one is CNN, and the third one is RNN. ANN over here stands for Artificial Neural Network. ANN stands for Artificial Neural Network. CNN stands for Convolution Neural Network. And RNN over here stands for Recurrent Neural Network. So artificial neural network, convolution neural network, and recurrent neural network. So what are these means? So artificial neural network is very much similar to what we say supervised learning over here. Why? Because in both of them we always do the classification or regression stuff. Classification and regression. So there are many activation functions like ReLU, sigmoid, and many more of them, which you have to learn the basic maths behind them and how to implement them. Okay, so how can you perform the classification part and how can you perform the regression part? Then there comes the convolution neural network. In CNN or convolution neural network, you play with images or videos or live cameras and all of these things. Okay, so basically, when you deal with images, you basically use CNN. And not only images, like when you are going to learn about advanced CNN, so you can use the models like object detection. There is a very famous model you must have heard about, that is YOLO. So YOLO stands for you only look once. So YOLO is a very famous object detection model. So later on you deal with object detection and many things. So before moving to RNN, there is a prerequisite step, that is NLP, that is the natural language processing. Okay, so natural language processing, you learn about how can we pre-process the natural language, how can we perform the encoding part, how can we perform the vector embeddings, and many more different things. What are bag of words, what are word embeddings, what are different types of encoding techniques, and many more things. Okay, how do we perform NLP? There are many libraries as well, like one of the famous library is Spacey. So how to use Spacey and many more. So that is the thing that you are going to cover in NLP. After NLP, you can successfully move on to RNN. So RNN is recurrent neural network. So in RNN, you deal with the text data mostly. Like in ANN, you deal with numerical data. But in the case of RNN, you basically deal with textual data. So whenever you are going to deal with text, like you have to tell whether the given mail is a ham mail or a spam mail, is a valid mail or a spam mail. So in this you don't have any numerical data, you have text overall. So how can you convert this text to numerical or to vectors, to be more precise? How can you convert this to vectors is the basic understanding of RNN. Then when you are going to study advanced RNN, you are going to study about how the transformers work, how the GANs are worked, the different diffusion models. But the very important step is LSTM and transformers. So these are the advanced concepts of RNN and very important as well. Okay, so after the RNN, your deep learning is also completed. This step 6 is also completed. After the step 6, I would recommend you to move to step 7, that is the generative AI. So in generative AI, you basically see how to give prompts to how to use the LLM API keys, how to use the prompt templates, how to use the output parcels, how to create the chaining and everything. So in generative AI, you basically deal with the LLMs, how to deal with LLMs, how to give them better prompts, and how to extract the data in a better way, how to store the data in a better way. After generative AI, I would recommend you to study about RAG models, that is retrieval augmented generation. So RAG is basically when, let's say, you have a book and you want the data, you want to extract some data from that book. So you are going to use RAG. Like RAG converts the data into vectors and find the similarity between the vectors and return the output accordingly. So this is also an advanced concept that comes under generative AI, or after generative AI we can also say. After RAG, you can start with agentic AI. So in agentic AI, you basically deal with the flows of LLM. Flows of LLM. Like how the output of one LLM is going to the another one, and how the graph structure, how the tree structure is made and everything. So agentic AI is the final step, and must make a lot of projects on generative AI, RAG, agentic AI, machine learning, deep learning, side skills. Now these are the basic 9 steps. The 10th step is the side steps. Okay, like you must learn about fast API or Flask, so that you can implement all of these things into your projects. Okay, with the help of fast API you can create your own APIs, and with your Flask you can create the front end, back end and everything. Okay, Flask is basically for back end, but you can also create front end. After fast API and Flask, you can also learn about databases, which is a very important concept in the data science field. There are many databases like MongoDB, like Postgres, and like SQL and many more. Okay, there are many DBs, databases, that you can learn about and how to implement them. 11th step, make a lot of projects. Make a lot of projects for your resume, because if you are learning a skill, then you must show that skills to others as well, to get some job referrals, to get some intern referrals. So these are the basic 11 steps that you can follow to start to get advanced even in the field of data science. This is the proper roadmap to become zero to hero in data science, and all of these steps will not take more than 8 months. So if you can dedicate yourself just for 8 months, 6 to 8 months, you are going to be the master in the field of data science, covering all of these things. And right now, agentic AI is in very much demand. The RAG models, generative AI, agentic AI, these are the very much, you can say, high paying jobs. Okay. Now, if you are confused where to start from, because there's a lot of doubt in students, how can we start? So if you are asking where to start, I would suggest EduRup. So EduRup is a learning platform where you can go and start with many different courses over here. If you can go to courses, you can see many more courses. But in the data science, if you will come, you can see there are many modules that covers all the basic stuffs over here. So if you are planning to start in the field of data science, it is the good platform you can start with. You will be going to learn about the introduction of data science, data handling techniques, exploratory data analysis, statistics, probability for data, this is the basic maths, machine learning foundation, advanced machine learning, databases and many more. So this is a very good platform where you can start learning with. You can have live classes, recorded sessions, one-on-one support and many more. And I am going to personally teach over here as well. So thanks a lot guys for joining.